T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here's your career affirmation. You're going to rock that interview and get that job. Let's get started. I'm Anna Morgan, your career BFF, champion of the underdog, lover of rescue dogs, coffee, and yoga, on a mission to inspire lost and overwhelmed job seekers to help them find their unique talents, build a personal brand, attract a flow of top recruiters and hiring managers that align with their purpose and their passion. I am the creator of the BFF method, which is behind the recruiter curtain, focused and fulfilling strategy, and fabulous self-love, helping underdogs become top dogs in their career by discovering rich self-love and careers that are a match made in heaven. Say hello in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and tell me one thing that you are grateful for today. I see Yvonne and Dan in the comments. I am going to pop over here and say hello. Let's see. We've got Yvonne. Thank you for joining. At least there's no audio in my ears. Thank you for letting me know. Really, Dan, you can't hear me? If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up, please, because I'm wondering. Hello, testing. Are we good now? I just did this amazing introduction. Can y'all hear me now? Testing. Hello, Christine is in the house. Christine, can you hear me? Give me a yes. All right. Maybe I need to do my intro again. All right. Did you hear my intro? Because it was pretty amazing. Gee, did you hear my intro? I was really proud of it. Okay. I'm Anna Morgan, your career BFF. We are here for weekly tips to solve everyday job seeker challenges. Oh, yay, Kylie. Thank you. I appreciate it. Friends, meet my coworker, Kylie Larwood, in the house. She was and is recruiter extraordinaire. We worked together at FBN. Definitely give her a follow. Check out her profile. We've been having lots of fun. So today we are going to get into talking about all the things that we're seeing on LinkedIn in regards to layoffs, rescinding offers. There's a little bit of this kind of wild energy happening right now. So I'm going to talk to you like I'm your best friend, and you're calling me and you're saying, Anna, Career BFF, stuff's wild out on LinkedIn. People are getting laid off. I'm feeling a little squirrely. What should I do? And I'm going to talk to you like I'm talking to my best friend. So here we go. Feel free to introduce yourself in the comments where you're tuning in from, one thing that you're grateful for, because gratitude is everything, in my humble opinion, because if we stay in a state of gratitude, it just brings us back to center, right? All right. This is not sponsored by LaCroix, but I have an unhealthy obsession with LaCroix. All right, me and Pink Dog here. We're going to talk about unexpected layoffs, fast action tips, and how you can be layoff resilient and ready. And I want you to also drop your tips and tricks in the comments as well, because I don't know everything, and we as a community are always better sharing our experience, strength, and hope. Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I so appreciate it. I am catching up over here and making sure everything looks good on LinkedIn. Perfect. All right. So since May kind of started, I think it was probably May with the announcement of, Better laying a bunch of people off via Zoom. Then we heard about Netflix, and then it's just had this kind of snowball effect, especially in the tech world. So have no fear. I mean, there is definitely an economic impact. Companies are not hitting their targets. There's the rise in inflation. A variety of reasons are adding to this. The cost of hiring people has increased, and I think all of us, if we have paid attention to our grocery bill, we have seen that change in that, that pinch of inflation. So the very first thing, if I were going through a layoff, is if I got that news, step one, obviously process the experience, make sure that you get all your assets together, right? And just know that being laid off is very different than being fired. And recruiters receive this information so differently as well. So definitely own that being laid off or having this kind of transition is no fault of your own. And always tell the truth when you're explaining this transition in the process, and try to put, the positive spin on it in the regards to what you enjoyed about working with the organization, what you took away from it, and the value that you added while you were in the position. So process the feelings, give yourself time to grieve. I know when I experienced an unexpected layoff at the height of the pandemic, I went through all the 5 stages of grief. And I'm a big crier. I cried for a couple days. But it's important that we don't stuff those feelings and, jump into unhealthy behaviors, because that's just going to keep us stuck and create a ripple effect of, not creating the desired result that we want, which is aligned work that fulfills us, that excites us to get up in the morning and get that paycheck and go do the work that we went to school for, or that we are naturally born to do. So the second thing I would do is I get into my finances. And, I'm not a big person to preach about finances, and I love to spend money. Let's just be honest. But there are things that add up, right? I'd probably go into my reoccurring subscriptions. I would sit down and go through my budget and look at the absolutes, right? Because again, it's this whole mindset of, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And, we have to be prepared. And, if there's an area that we can, kind of tighten up and do without, so that we have security, because security right now is everything, depending on the level of candidate you are. And I've worked with entry level up to C-suite. And financial insecurity is at all levels, and it's a huge stressor. So definitely take the time. There's a lot of resources out there to help you manage your finances, and reach out to professionals for help if that's something that feels unmanageable to you. So we have Jay Travis. Hello. I just want to say hello. We have federal grants that are available, evidently. Good morning, Maria. Thank you for being here. Emotions help us grow stronger. Absolutely. All right. Okay. So once you get your feelings settled and grounded, once you look at your finances and kind of map out like what your budget looks like, right? You probably will have some kind of severance and a timeline so you can kind of acclimate what your budget's going to look like. And then that's how you kind of look at what your full court press or your job search strategy acceleration is going to look like based on really that need. I believe in working smarter rather than harder because while looking for a job is a full-time job for many, it is about looking at things in a way that are going to yield the most impactful result. So the next thing I would say is a lot of people will go to frantically posting, right? I got laid off. And so I'm going to make this, post that's going to go viral. And it's like they're going to blah all this stuff onto LinkedIn. I invite you to pause and make sure you get your profile completely updated. And it's very clear about who you are, what kind of job seeker you are, what kind of candidate you are, and the impact that you can make before you make that post. Because you don't want to be driving all this traffic to you in case your post goes viral or 47 people share it. Then they get to their profile and they're like, what exactly does this person do? Right? Clarity sells. So have that optimized profile, have a clear cover image, an optimized headline that has the keywords of the positions that you want to apply for, have a storytelling, robust about section. Make sure your experience section is up to date and that your skill section is fully utilized and up to date with the recent skills that you have, to make sure that, it's visible for the people that visit your profile. The other thing that I would do is, as I was exiting an organization, I would make sure that I was connected to all the amazing people that I worked with at that organization. And I would actually go give those people recommendations on LinkedIn and, highlight the things that I really enjoyed about working with them. And 99% of the time, they will reciprocate with a recommendation. The next thing I would do is, if I didn't send the recommendation, I would just send a personal email thanking the manager or the peer or the department manager that I used to collaborate with heavily, how much I appreciated working with them and that I would love to stay in touch. And I would, exchange contact information, because you never know when you're potentially going to need that person. And I always recommend connecting with them on LinkedIn, because we can follow people for their entire career, right? And who knows, 2 years from now, that very person that you did a couple projects with might be at your dream company. So it is in your best interest to, send that quick follow-up email that's meaningful, that's authentic, that is about them in a place of gratitude, and it will pay dividends potentially in the future. And then, ask for recommendations from the big people that matter, right? Social proof is everything. And as a recruiter, I love looking at recommendations to add some depth when I'm presenting a candidate to a hiring manager. So I always recommend, when you hit the request a recommendation from someone, that you guide them a little bit in requesting that recommendation. If I were, hi, Laura, if I were to ask Laura or Jess for a recommendation, I would say, hey, Jess, I would love for you to write a recommendation about my coaching skills with Career BFF and the time we spent together when I did clubhouse rooms, for the job search angels. And so she could speak specifically to that 9-month period where I know that she and I spent quite a bit of time together. So giving the person specific kind of pillars to work in makes it easy for the person to write that recommendation. If sometimes we're just like, hey, can you write me a recommendation? It feels like a heavier request. And to make it easier for them, just give them a little nugget to focus on and watch those recommendations come flying in. So get the recommendations, get the LinkedIn profile nice and sparkly, up to date. There's lots of resources on the platform how to do that. If you're not a part of the Job Connection Tuesday collective that Dan Roth runs, I highly recommend that. There are a lot of workshops and free resources in there to help empower you in your job search. And then let's talk about being layoff ready and resilient. So in this market, I think it's also super important that you are staying visible. So this is oftentimes really hard when you're in a remote environment, right? I'm trying to look at the comments here. Okay, so if you're employed and you just feel like you're on shaky ground a little bit, I would be networking effectively within your organization. I would make sure my profile is optimized to be found for ideal work, potentially for the future. So, whether you're, an active job search or in passive job search, I always recommend that your profile is built in a way that it's like a bat signal for, your future career. So there are ways that you can build it so that you consistently have people coming in, kind of tapping you on the shoulder, saying, I'm not really sure if this is for you, but would you be interested? So network within your organization. I would make sure that you're staying visible. For me, that could look like having my camera on in more of my, Google Meet meetings. It would be reaching out to peers and just saying, hey, I would love to have a coffee chat to get to know you a little bit better. If I were in a hybrid or more in-office scenario, I'd probably be in the office a little bit more. There's an element sadly, in this market it's visibility helps. Visibility on LinkedIn, visibility, showing up and raising your hand for special projects really does show relevancy, right? And I feel like one of my friends said the other day that with these layoffs that leaders are making emotional decisions and then trying to justify it with logic. And the way that you can kind of quell any weird emotional decisions that don't serve you is to stay visible. So staying visible again could look differently for a lot of different people, but it's a little bit about raising your hand, staying relevant, tracking your accomplishments. Track your accomplishments. Send weekly updates to your supervisor. Let them know. Be an over communicator in this market. Never assume that people know what you're up to because it's kind of like in the sales world, closed mouths don't get fed. It's the same principle I feel like in preparing ourselves to be to be resistant, to be, when leaders are making tough decisions, again, emotional decisions that, okay, here are the things that I'm seeing from these associates that would make it hard for me as a leader to make this decision about this associate or candidate. So, all right. Hashtags. Jennifer says hashtags All right. But don't do special projects if you're not being compensated for the time if you're putting in, if it goes beyond your normal work schedule. I definitely agree with that, Dan. There is a fine line there. There is definitely a fine line, and you have to use your judgment and your intuition there in regards to, there's a tipping point of playing the game essentially. But I think over communication is key in, staying visible and ready, so that you're well positioned, right? And then also keep those accomplishments. And as our mutual friend Claire says, your brag book ready to go. So then it makes it easy to update your LinkedIn profile and to update your resume and have your talking points ready, and all that good stuff. One of my fellow longtime friends and coaches, well, he's a recruiter, he's a host of Career Talks podcast, and he's an author. He just came out with this Career Accelerator Planner. And I love the concept of this because it gives us a way to track this information. I'm going to drop it in the comments for y'all to take a look at. It's on pre-order right now. Dan, let me know if you can see that okay. But I ordered a copy. I'm super excited to see how this turns out. I have a lot of respect for Orlando and his partner, Kareen Turner, and what they're doing to support job seekers. So that might be a great resource to consider, to start tracking all this information. And I think it's really powerful too, to have kind of a one-stop shop where you can look back on your career. I kind of use LinkedIn for that essentially, but having a planner like that is super powerful. So unexpected layoffs can hurt, they can sting, they are sometimes inevitable, but there are things that we can do to certainly be prepared. And I have given you a couple tips. Like I said, if I were talking to you as my best friend, these are the things that I would suggest that you do. Process, get your finances in order, get your assets together, send notes of gratitude, send your recommendations, get your recommendations, start updating your profile, then your resume, and start networking like the amazing person that you are. So, is there a website for the job group mentioning projects on the server? Protect what? Oh, Dan. Okay, I'll let Dan answer that. So next week, Thursday at noon, is the last F of the BFF method, which is fabulous self-love. So we will be covering one of the topics under fabulous self-love and self-care that is critical in job search strategy. If you have questions, please drop them in the comments. Christine is going to put a link in the chat that has an anonymous link to Dear Career BFF, like Dear Abby. You can send your anonymous questions and I will answer them live here the week after next. And I know that we're headed into a lot of vacations, and that's perfect for fabulous self-love because we all need a little vitamin D, a little R&R, a little unplugging. Check on yourself as much as you check LinkedIn or social media. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Dan. I will put this in here. The accelerator planner. Okay, there it is. And then I will also tag Orlando and let him know that we're talking about him. I'll do it after the show because I can't type right now. All right, so I am Anna Morgan, your Career BFF. I am going to leave you with a quote. Can they be questions about anything? We never knew about you, Dan, but yes, they can be questions that your career BFF could potentially answer for you. I'm very multidimensional, so you never know. This sage, wise woman that I am, I can answer quite a variety of questions, but prefer that they stay career and job search focused. So, all right. So, in the vein of championing the career misfit, the underdog, I'm going to leave you with this. You ready? Are you ready? By the way, if you haven't seen the new Top Gun movie, it's really fun, especially for us Gen Xers. Okay. Victory is 1,000 times sweeter when you're the underdog, by Jenny Han. And you can overcome almost anything once you realize your biggest opponent is sometimes yourself. All right, friends, thank you for the support. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. It's an honor to support you and share my experience, strength, and hope. And you all are being a wonderful service to me to show up here today. I'll see you next Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time.